What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. Take a look at this. Layoffs this month in percentage of workers. Twitter, 50%. Cameo, 25%. Robinhood, 23%. Intel, 20%. Snapchat, 20%. Coinbase, 18%. OpenDoor, 18%. Stripe, 14%. Lyft, 13%. Shopify, 10%. Meta's going to start laying off thousands of employees tomorrow. Apple has a hiring freeze. Amazon has a hiring freeze. Folks, we're in the midst of what's going to be a major catastrophe, a major economic downfall. And to put into perspective, there are stages to this typical bear market. And usually, first, you have construction and investment slow. So, permits and startups and stuff like that. It's followed by new orders weakening, and that includes like future businesses, right? Then corporation earnings fall, and finally the labor softens, so that leads to unemployment. And labor is the last one to go. And typically, you've seen that in previous crises, and we're about to enter into that unemployment phase. And currently, we're in between phases 2 and 3, right? Which is you start seeing new orders weakening, so future business doesn't look bright. We see corporation earnings fall. So we're in between this step right here, and we're headed towards this last and final step of unemployment, and it's going to be massive. And I think you got to be ready for 2023. All signs are pointing to something of this nature. You got to be ready for it because it's coming whether you like it or not. People can decide to put their head in the sand and ignore reality and then get hit harder, or, take it as it is and prepare beforehand. Here, Mark Zuckerberg confirms that Meta is going to begin mass layoffs tomorrow. Here we see Salesforce cut hundreds of employees. Um, and right now, I want to talk about FTX. So, for those of you who may not know, FTX is uh, exchange for cryptocurrency, and they just became insolvent and were bought up by another exchange called Binance. And it was one of the biggest exchanges here in the U.S. And they were so a lot of non-crypto investment funds or institutions invested into FTX. And here you see Sequoia invested in a $420 million round in FTX at $25 billion valuation in October of 2021, and a consortium with Paradigm invested $400 million at $32 billion in January of 2022. Now it's selling in a fire sale. And so this is one of those events that leaves you without words, because we had 3AC and Celsius bust, a couple months ago in May and June, and now you're seeing this. So these are uh, very interesting times. Something to keep an eye on, because this could be a catalyst coming into future economic downturns. Percentage of auto loans that are at least 60 days delinquent hit 1.65% in Q3, the highest rate for 60-day delinquencies in more than a decade. Largest home builder in Idaho to lay off 50% of workforce as Idaho real estate market has collapsed or is collapsing. Folks, all these major areas that were hot are now coming down. Look at the percentage price cut jump in Austin. So it looks like 65% of listings currently have a price cut, which is a record high. I mean, like, look at this jump. It just went boom straight up. And the Texas market was booming, and now you're seeing that boom has to have a fall, right? It says with nearly every zip over 40%, and some even at 100% of listings with a cut. So, folks, I mean, if you aren't paying attention, which I know everyone who's watching this channel is, you know that the day of reckoning is coming, and it's already started. And regardless if this market goes higher, you know the underlying uh, problems in the system. So, and again, I want to remind you that our SPRs are lowest since 1984. And so after these elections, who knows what's going to happen with these, but you got to keep in mind that gas is going to get expensive. Everything's going to get more expensive. The way of living will get much more expensive. So you got to prepare ahead of time. All right, bring this news so you can prepare. Do whatever you can each day, little by little. If that means, hey, I'm going to buy myself a good cold jacket, for winter. Because, times get tough and I have nothing else. At least I can stay warm. Maybe buy some boots to keep your feet warm. Little things like that. Maybe an extra lamp in case your power cuts out. Like little things like that. If you can't do anything else that's major, little things like that will go a long ways. Have an extra bag of rice, extra canned food. Because folks, this is serious. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. It's the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.